All right, we are now live with the one and only Isis Wisdom. It's an honor to have you back on here again, and we're going to be breaking down the movie Nope. All right, Nope, Nope, Nope. All right, this has to do a lot with the Galactic Federation, and this is a huge live. And Isis is here, special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself today, Isis Wisdom?
Isis Wisdom, that's what you guys know me for, or I am the realest to ever do it. It's one of the two. But it's nice to see you guys again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, back on our channel. So much gratitude for you coming on here today. So we're gonna get straight into it. You saw Nope. When this movie came out, why do you feel like they even dropped the movie Nope? What's like one of the main reasons they even dropped this movie at this time specifically?
I was just getting ready to say it has a lot to. I was just getting ready to say it has a lot to do with the timing of it. It's the timing of the
The
dropping of the
timing.
movie. Like I've been putting information out for a little while now, probably one of the first people to come out to reveal that there has been a galactic war that's been taking place on our skies. And that proof of that war that was taking place, a very obvious proof of that, was back when all that stuff went down in Mexico, right outside Mexico City. And you could clearly see as plain as day, if anybody could just, if their mind was open enough, you could see as plain as day that that's exactly what was going on, because the people were running around, they were screaming and stuff like that. It wasn't normal lightning. Like, these were actual like hits, from ship to ship. It was straight up war. So I think I was one of the first people to come out to expose that. And then on top of that, as far as my community is concerned, and then I started noticing more and more and more activity. And then on top of that, I am tapped in. I do get downloads. I do communicate with higher forces to get certain information. They let me know what I can and what I cannot talk about.
Okay.
So I've had my encounters with Anunnaki ships where I've literally seen them in cloud technology, like sitting above my house, me saying a few words to send them on their way. And then the cloud is like moving off. And then I'm talking back to it, and it turns around and starts coming back in my direction again. I said, just because I made this comment doesn't mean I want you to bring your behinds back over my house again. So and you got to understand, you're talking to someone who knew that I was from Sirius since I was probably about 6 years old. 5 or 6 years old, I was telling my dad that I'm from Sirius. You know what I mean? So I've always had a connection to the cosmos. But in terms of the timing of this movie coming out, has a lot to do with what's coming down the pipeline. Now, if you guys pay attention, let's say if you want to break it down on the political level, it is now known, or should be known, or most of the people should already be aware, that the United States is no longer the world reserve currency anymore. In order for that to be pulled off, common sense should tell you that the forces behind the United States dollar, meaning those banksters who have been running the world and putting the central bank in every single country around the world, et cetera, has lost power. And like I said before, you guys have to recognize the fact that you only see 20% of what's going on. You don't see the other 80% that's going on behind the scenes. But when you start looking at the loss of power when it comes to currency, that should pretty much let everybody know that the United States time is up. Now, in order for that to take place, though, you would also have to know the history that there has been something on this planet that's been running this planet that clearly isn't human. Because whatever is on this planet has been at war against humanity for quite some time, and even more so against the indigenous. If you really want to, if you really take the time out and you just think about it. So now it's already out there that Putin and Russia and China now have come together. This goal, and now if you pay attention, every single country around the world now is jumping back to the gold standard. That's why I'm letting people know that if you're going to get into investments, crypto is not the way to go. It's minerals, things of that nature. Now, I'm putting this out just so people have the ability to know what to look for. Okay, you got to know what to look for. So as the United States is no longer the world reserve currency, the deep state still exists. It's just not as powerful as it once was. But who are the deep state? Okay, you have politicians and all different types of people and high up military and black ops and all this other stuff, higher forms of government, right? You have all that going on, but you got to understand that what's been at war with us isn't human. That means they infiltrated these sectors. Let me just say that we infiltrated these sectors. This goes all the way back to Lemuria. Okay, when the reptilians came in and they raided the Lemurians and they took over, then they were doing what you call hybrid. They were growing hybrids. Okay, so are the Lemurians that we see today, or that we would see today, are nothing but hybrids. Those beings right there are the ones that's been running the planet the entire time. So it's been a mixture of reptilians and Lemurians the whole entire time that's been running this whole thing behind the scenes. Okay.
Wow.
Now, then of course there's the invasion that took place with the reptilians. Of course, they came in and put the virus in the matrix, and the rest is history. Then the Anunnaki saw, well, shit, I want to get in on it too. So they got in and got involved, and the Alpha Draconians came in, and then you had rogue Octurians that came in, and you had rogue Palladians that came in, and then that's pretty much how these things start taking effect. I need the people to understand that this has always been galactic. Now, the stronghold that these beings once had don't have it anymore, because now you have millions of ships that are circulating around Earth right now, even as we speak. If you want to look at it as a flat plane, you can look at it that way. But either way you look at it, they're sitting in the skies. And some of them look like stars, but they're not stars, they're ships. And I've been telling y'all for the longest that our galactic ancestors are here. So it is the Galactic Federation that very much is here. They are the ones that police the cosmos. And the reason why they're here is because these beings that have been on this planet has been holding back humanity for a very long time. So when you start talking about the timing, here's what they did. They already were warned that you have a certain amount of time to get certain things done. And if you don't get this done by a certain amount of time, well, this is what's going to happen. Now, they're putting this information in movies like Nope, a certain kind of way. It's where they communicate to their people about what's coming, right? But the masses, y'all going to the movies thinking that this is just entertainment. But you shouldn't be going to any movie at this point looking at this as just entertainment. You need to be looking at this as what messages are they giving to their people, so I can be on point to know what the hell's going on.
Right. Every movie at this point got a message.
Right. So if you remember, there was a part in the movie where they showed the main character. I can't think of his name right now, but that brother that played in Get Out, where he was so paranoid because he was hearing noises and sounds. And then all of a sudden you saw the little creatures that looked like little aliens. And the fact they were aliens. Right? Now, they put that in there. That's for the people who keep saying there's going to be a staged fake alien invasion. That's for those people. Okay? Because it is known out there, that's been put out there about the fake stage alien invasion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So as this fake stage alien invasion is going to happen.
Yes. It is going to happen.
Okay.
Before the main event, so to speak.
Before the main event. Okay.
Okay. And so they're letting their people know you're supposed to be on point to be able to see it ahead of time before it goes down, so you know what to look for, so you're not caught out there. The next alien invasion, I wouldn't even call it an alien invasion. I don't see it that way, but it depends on the person's perception and how they're seeing things. The way I process it is that when Nibiru is passing through, there are beings such as the Anunnaki and other different types. There are all types of beings, first of all, that are on Nibiru, because Nibiru is a big-ass spaceship. First of all, let's just start there. But when it passes through, there's going to be a lot of beings that's going to leave from here that's going to go to Nibiru. So that's a flyby or a passing, if you will, that's going to take place. And whoever's here that wants to go can go. But we are going to see these things take place in our lifetime. We are going to see these things taking place. And so they're letting their people know, hey, this is what it is. This is how we got to put the information out there. We're going to give the people 60% truth or 80% truth, and we're going to give them 20% of a lie. The problem is that 20% of the lie is what derails the whole shit. This is what they've been doing for the longest. Meanwhile, they're putting out subliminal messages inside the movies to communicate to their people so they know how to move and do so forth and so on. So if you're asking me why the timing of this is happening now, because you are now seeing galactic wars in the skies. And it's time for you guys to start coming to an understanding that, number one, you are not going to tame anything. You're not taming anything. You're not controlling anything. Let me just start there. Because if you pay attention to what that UFO really was, it was an actual intelligence. It was a creature,
Mm-hmm.
type of being.
That's
It
why it
wasn't
was
a ship.
transforming. That's
It
why it was
transformed
transforming
itself
so
several
much.
times, right? Throughout that movie, it transformed
Mm-hmm.
itself several times. That in itself should have told you when you saw it transforming left and right into different shapes and whatever else it was doing. It should have
Right.
told you. Don't think that you got me pegged down because you don't.
Right.
Don't
Was
think
this
that you can understand me because you can't. I'm
was
something that which you cannot understand.
and was the way it was transforming, was that shape shifting too? Do you feel
That
like that
there
was
you
shape
go.
shifting ISIS?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
And they put
My
that out
intuition
there.
told me.
Yes, they
Hmm.
put that out there to let you know that it was a shapeshifter, extraterrestrial being that knows that has the ability to be able to shapeshift. That is absolutely correct.
Wow. It's a pivotal time we're in right now. So another question I'll ask you, so why was the indigenous so-called black people able to survive? Because if you notice, the only people that was really dying was the people that actually wasn't indigenous. They didn't have black in their skin. So why was they, the other people, you know what I'm saying, the so-called Caucasians and so-called Asians, why were they the only one being targeted in this movie?
Because they don't have any respect for nature. And they don't have any
Mm,
respect for life. I'm not saying all of them are like that. I'm also pointing out the
mhm.
fact that
Right.
they listen. Let's just keep them
Mhm,
100. I've been told y'all where they come from. I've been told y'all
mm,
they came from planet Nern. I've been told y'all that they were so unruly that they got kicked off their own planet and then went to other galaxies to try to take over other planets and other life forms and so forth and so on. They're not accepted nowhere that they go. Now, I'm
mhm.
not saying this is all of them because you do have some people that were us at one point that incarnated as them that are walking around here right now because they had other missions that
Facts.
they had to complete. So I want to be
Facts.
clear when I say the types of people, when I speak on this, when I look at that, I look at that as a representation of what isn't natural to the planet. What isn't natural to the planet? What is in contrary to nature? We knew
Mm,
how to respect nature, and we still do to this day. We know, first of all, you're not gonna really catch us out here, really going out here and wanting to cage up animals and shit. Okay, but that's the way they treat us in this country, right? They treat us like cage animals, put us in cages. They're always putting something in a cage. They always make an effort to try to tame you. They're doing studies on us 50 and 60 and 100 years out to figure out how to break us down and how to control us because we're naturally cosmic galactic beings. We have the cosmic energy inside of us. We have the actual dust inside of our bodies. We are made from that. We are made from dark matter. We're made from this. It's naturally innately within us. So we know when we
I
see
see.
something, okay, if this is a predator and it came off like an apex predator, if this is a predator, then what do you do when you deal with a predator? You get the hell out the way, and you know damn well you're not going to make eye contact with it. Are you going to make eye contact with a lion and you out there in the wilderness and you see the lion and the lion sees you? Are you going to continue to stare it down? Are you going to continue to stare down a bear if a bear comes across you? Or are you just going to look away like you don't even see him? What happens whenever you make contact? Even when the brothers are getting ready to go to war or a potential war could start because you got two individuals that are staring each other down. That's sending a direct message that you about that life, that you want to smoke.
Mhm.
That's all the way down. That's from the cosmos all the way down. So he didn't make contact and she stayed the hell out the way and stayed a certain way because we had an innate respect for nature and we knew when to get out and when to get out of the way. So when I look at those people and the stuff that happened to them and the reason why they were gotten the way that they were gotten, one is easy prey. Two, they don't have respect for nothing. Just like the monkey. Let's take it back to the scene of the monkey.
Mhm.
The monkey itself was caged. I don't feel like he was treated properly or fairly.
Mhm.
He had been used in other shows before.
Mm,
They're having him on a TV show.
mm,
They think they got him tamed, but they don't. And this dude wows the hell out and starts eating up everybody.
mm. I was trying
Except
to understand why did they even bring the monkey into the movie? It just didn't even seem relevant.
to get you to recognize, well, the way I processed it was when I saw the monkey in the movie,
Mhm.
it was to get you to recognize that that ship wasn't even a ship. To get you to
Oh,
recognize that it's its own natural being, it's its own intelligence. to get you to recognize that. I think that's the reason why they put the monkey in there to begin with. At least that's the way I processed it. Because if you could tell by the way the ship was moving, you could tell that it was a creature, an intelligence. You could tell it wasn't a ship.
Very
You could
smart.
see that. It wasn't no damn ship. You know what I'm saying? It just happened to form itself into that type of form. But like we talked about all the different shape shifting and stuff like that that was taking place. Angelics are known to shape shift like that. They can shape shift. Okay, you might see a seraphim, and that seraphim has the ability to not look the same way that you think it would look. It can look like a human with wings. It can turn around. A seraphim could turn around and look like something totally different, where it's got rings around it, and then you have all these eyes. Okay, and angelics are extraterrestrial beings. Most people don't know that, but they are extraterrestrial beings. The highest ranking extraterrestrial beings, they're the ones that answer to the Most High, but they are extraterrestrial nonetheless.
So I have a good question. A lot of people be like, okay, the aliens, extraterrestrials, our star family, they are righteous. In this movie, they are actually killing people. They are actually murdering people. What's the intention of this? Why were they doing this to these people? Why were they capturing them and murdering them?
Apex predator. That's like going out here and asking, why is a lion killed when you go out into his den or you go out into his territory? Apex predator is an apex predator. If you go out into the ocean and you're swimming out in the ocean and you come across some damn squid and that squid decides to attack you, was that squid wrong? Or was that squid operating in his own natural environment?
Yeah. So they feel like they didn't belong here. That's not their planet, so they gotta go.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And that's another spin on it that, I haven't really heard that much of, but that's the way I process it. I'm like, your asses ain't supposed to be here.
Ashe. We got 900 viewers. Everyone like it up. I appreciate everyone for joining us live. And make sure you guys go ahead and check out Isis Wisdom, one of the realest to ever do it. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and leave a huge thumbs up and drop a comment. Thank you. All right, so the next question we're gonna get into now. Let's see what we got here. So the main extraterrestrial spaceship, that one that was chasing the main character, right? Why was it taking so long for this spaceship to capture the main character? Why was it so difficult? Was it because he had no fear? Because we always talk about fear. That was part of it.
And let me just say this, and this is a warning to anybody out here listening. I want you guys to hear me when I tell you this. There are predators and beings and extraterrestrials on this planet right now, and there are more that's coming on this planet that will be scanning your frequency. And when they go to scan your frequency and you're operating on a low vibrational frequency, you're out of here. Gone. Gone. See you later. Because most of humanity at this point, because we are currently under judgment, should be working on the very things such as getting rid of the bags, getting rid of the fear, working on ourselves, so forth and so on is what we're supposed to be doing. We're now in the age of Aquarius. Anybody still doing shit you did back in 2019 and 2022 with all the changes that obviously in your face that's been taking place? If you can't see the energy moving you into a spiritual direction, then you're not matching the frequency. And if you're not matching the frequency, that's going to be a problem down the road for a lot of people if they're not matching the frequency of Gaia, because you're not going to be able to ascend if you're not matching the frequency. It just doesn't work like that. And no one ever said what the rules were in terms of how Gaia plans on getting rid of whomever off the planet. You just need to know, don't be one-track minded about it, number one. And you just need to know that there's going to be several different things going on the planet all over the world that's going to be taking place where a lot of people are going to be leaving from here, period. Whether it be the sun because of the great solar flash, whether it be what we just saw in Note, whether it be something else, either way you look at it, it's the time is now for the cleanse to take place. That's why Nemesis is here. And I've been telling y'all that sun in the United States is not the regular sun that I'm seeing in Mexico. That sun that's in the United States is Nemesis. Period. And if you know anything about Nemesis, Nemesis is the destroyer. Period. Okay, that's what's going to bring that solar flash in. I need you guys to be clear about what I'm saying.
It's supposed to be a sun.
It is the other side of Ra that you don't really hear being talked
Mm.
about in a manner where you can correlate the two. It is the other side of him. So I remember when people were talking about it, saying that they were looking at numbers and stuff like that, and they felt that maybe Nemesis was here. And I said, damn, I've been told y'all that Nemesis was here. I remember seeing Nemesis when I first moved to Mexico, bro. I don't tell too many people this, but when I first moved to Mexico, we drove down. When we drove down, it took us 22 hours to get to the area that I live in. When we got into the city, there are hotels that surround the ocean. So when you're coming into the city, you see the ocean, but then you see all these different hotels. Now we're in the city. We hit the city about 9:30 p.m. So it's dark. I'm looking over in between the hotels, and I'm looking, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then my two godsons were in the car. They was like, what you mean? I said, bro, look at the sun. That ain't even the sun. What the hell is that, man? And you can see like this crimson red, and it had like it was black and crimson red, and it was circular, and that was not the sun. That wasn't no damn sun. Or at least that wasn't the sun that I know it to be the sun. And that's when I got the hit that it was Nemesis. So you got to figure the day that I landed in Mexico, the day I actually landed, me and my godsons both saw Nemesis.
Wow. That's deep.
So for me, that was very pivotal for me because that kind of that was a sign because I was told to leave. So to me, that was a sign like, oh shit. Oh, this is what we're doing. This is what's happening. Got you. You know what I'm saying? So I'll never forget that as long as I live. I'll never forget that. That was definitely a pivotal moment for me. Seeing that, remembering how I was feeling that day, remembering the reactions of my godsons that day when they saw it. It was just, I can't explain it. It was just the energy and everything around it at that time. It was just like, what is that? But I remember feeling this feeling. It was just like this inner feeling. And I was like, that there might be Nemesis, and then I got confirmation that that's what it was. So wow. I think I was being communicated at that point in time when I seen it. I think at that time I was being communicated to.
Okay. I seen someone mention Project Bluebeam. So we were just talking about the fake alien invasion. Do you feel like this fake alien invasion, the reason why they brought these fake aliens in the first part of the movie to kind of like throw people off and to prepare people that they are going to show a fake alien invasion first? Do you feel like this fake alien invasion is going to be Project Bluebeam? That most
it's a
people
possibility, but it's a possibility, but it also depends on whether or not the Galactic Federation took over that actual technology. And that's a whole other thing that's another thing that we don't realize is that there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on and a lot of technology has been taken over. I'm not saying the blue beam was because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that it just really depends. If I was to take an educated guess, I would say that they're probably going to attempt to use the blue beam, but I don't think the technology is going to be on the level that it was going to be due to the intervention of the Galactic Federation. I think that they're going to try it. I think that a lot of us are going to see through that bullshit and realize that's what it is, and we're not going to be fooled by that, and we're going to go on about our damn business. Now, people might panic at first, but there's a lot of people out here that love to film with their cameras, and there's a lot of people that like to dissect and look for the green screen and all that. You know how it is, bro. Ain't nobody, they're not going to be able to really pull that off with a bunch of cameras around, and then everybody zoned in, breaking the whole thing down, dissecting it, and looking at it all. You know how you're going to come across those types of people. So I think that if they try to do that, I think it's going to be sloppy. I think it's going to be sloppy as hell. I don't think it's going to work.
I don't think it will work either. I just feel like people with people enough with the third eye open will actually see through that. And I heard many theories of people saying that they're going to use Project Bluebeam to actually pretend that Jesus will come back. And if you think about this, only those who have a closed third eye will only fail for Project Bluebeam at this present moment.
That is correct. That is correct. And let me just say this. I'm probably sure that the people have heard this before. Christ consciousness is returning. The crystalline consciousness is returning.
Ashe is here.
Okay, that needs to be understood in terms of the Christ that's coming. It's the Christ consciousness. It is the Christos, not to be confused with Christianity in any way. And y'all need to also stop associating God's son with Christianity, because he was never part of Christianity. That was done through religion to control you. If you guys take the time out and you really study, you'll begin to realize and see the galactic story for what it is. It's always been galactic. They just added an extra bunch of fluff around it to control humanity. So you're going to have to remove that fluff away, and you're going to have to look at the story again with a different set of eyes and a new perspective. Okay, but it's the consciousness, the energy and the consciousness. These are the individuals that are coming up now, that are coming out and they're speaking that, like people like myself, people like Rashad Jamal, people like Kaliyam and Ra, all the people that are coming out and speaking to you guys right now and giving you this information are accessing what we call the Christ consciousness. And we're coming to you and we're schooling you. We're telling you what to look for. We're having you go inward, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're currently in that right now. We are in the phases of the Christ consciousness right now. So I just want to put that out there.
What a time to be alive. So what's the best recommendation to tap into this Christ consciousness level for those who have no idea to get into this Christ consciousness?
Start reading some books. If you have an interest in reading, start reading about unity consciousness. Y'all should have been read the Emerald Tablets. Y'all should start studying the Tablets of Light. Y'all should start doing that. Read the oh my goodness, there's a couple books that you guys can get started, but the Kabbalah is another one. Y'all should read that. Y'all should also study yoga and learn about the teachings of yoga.
Very powerful.
Learn about the teachings of karma. Learn about that. I'm actually going to do, and I am going to do a live on YouTube about that. I'm going to drop the science on that.
Okay.
I dropped the science on that a little bit on the live I did the other night, but I'm going to really go hard body into that. Start educating yourselves about your actions and how your actions can lead lead you to positive or negative karma. You know what I'm saying? Start saying your prayers every day over yourself, asking the Creator, the Most High, to bring things into your life to protect you, to guide you, to open up your eyes, to give you the ability to be able to discern, what have you. You know what I'm saying? Put those affirmations out over yourself. If you want to start really tapping in, put the request in and say, I want to tap into Christ consciousness.
Right. I remember you also.
Right direction of where I need to go. Start asking for assistance, and you guys will get your answers, but just pay attention to the signs when they're given to you.
I remember you also did bring up the Bible. You were saying how those can recite Psalms 91. What was that verse you said?
For protection. That was Psalms 91 for protection and things like that.
Yes.
But go back and read it anyway, because when you go back and read it, like I tell people when we talk about Genesis, as a Genesis is genes of Isis. That is a very clear distinction of cloning if I've ever seen one. When they said they pulled the rib from the woman from the man and then created the woman and all that, that's cloning. Okay? We should have been able to recognize that, the cloning, but we didn't recognize it as that's what it was. They've been doing this shit since the beginning of time. This isn't nothing new. This is nothing new. Having your consciousness tied into machines is nothing new. It's just that we're not there with that type of technology. And if I was to really get deep with y'all, if I was really getting on some gangster shit, all of y'all are just simply projecting here onto this hologram, and you guys are sitting someplace else.
That's the rabbit hole.
Your consciousness is projecting onto Kai, aka Earth, and this 3D is a hologram, and you are projecting your consciousness right here in this 3D hologram. I saw the vision of where we really are. I've seen it. And I had questions about what I was looking at because I was tripping. But you guys got to understand, as I've always kept saying before, you guys are, look, every life experience that you have in life is a simulation. I want to be clear about something. You think you're having a real life experience. You're having a simulation. A
whole simulation. So the Matrix movie is actually like 100% accurate. There's nothing, not even a little bit fake.
And there are Sentinels and there are Men in Black. It has its own agency. That is the Men in Black. That is a very real thing. And everybody's born onto the planet anybody that's born onto this planet has tracking devices and also what do you call it? Tracking devices and transmitters from their bodies that actually transmit back to the matrix. Everybody has one. Everybody that's born into this realm has one. That's how it's able to that's how it's able to track you down and so forth and so on. So I want the people's consciousness to come to an understanding. So when they put these movies out like Nope and different ones out, they're putting it out there in your face because they're trying to also get some of you guys prepared, because you've got to remember this place is duality. You have some people in that squad that's shooting these movies that are malevolent, and then you have others that are benevolent. Okay, that's just the way it's always been ran in society. When you start talking about the higher ups, that's how it's always been. So as of right now, you're getting some information, and if you're paying attention to the timing, now you know what to look for when they put it out there. That part when they showed in the movie, remember the part when they showed in the movie about the cloud that wasn't moving? Mm-hmm. And the guy pointed out, he said, "You see that right there? The cloud's not moving." Yeah, that's true. It's not moving. That got my ass running back outside my house, right? Because I'm always seeing clouds out in the ocean, and I'm looking at some shit like, let me not see that shit move. Let me see that same cloud figure still sitting in that same spot. You know what I'm saying, from before?
Yeah.
It happens.
Wow.
And so then you're like, okay, so what exactly am I looking at? And that's what they were talking about in the movie. They were putting the information out there to kind of let you guys see how these ships are really moving out here and what to look for.
So exactly what happens is they exactly camouflage in the clouds, or do they hide behind the clouds? Because some people are getting that confused.
Well, they use cloud technology to cloak the ships up themselves. So the ships actually have certain machines and propellers and engines that literally send out clouds to cover the thing up. Not to mention it has its own ability to be able to cloak itself. Okay, but not 100%, because you may be able to see the apparition of it, meaning you might see an outline of it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then it has to use the cloud technology to kind of throw you off. And so that's what they do. They use the cloud technology to throw you off. But I got a clear video that I posted on my Telegram a couple months ago when I was standing out in my balcony. And I heard somebody say Galactic Federation. And I'm looking at the cloud and I'm seeing the smoothness of this. I mean, it was a smooth pyramid. Like there was just no way. Like it was just coming down real smooth. Like when you look at the shadow, I saw the shadow of it. And then I saw the clouds. And you know how when you're looking at something and you're like doing this and you're looking at something, and then it's like you're hyper focused on it. So then it looks like it got a little bit closer to you, but it didn't. But you think that it did because you're trying to focus on what the hell it is you're looking at. And then finally you get the focus, and you're like, "Holy shit, that's a whole damn ship right there." And that's what happened. I bugged out, and it wasn't just me that seen it. It was two other people that seen it at the same time. And I remember feeling this very eerie, this eerie, like it was like eerily quiet, like. It was really eerie. I can't explain that, but it was like no sound. No sound.
Wow.
Like a vacuum. And then it was just like, I'm looking at that and I'm like, holy shit. So I went and grabbed my camera and I started filming it. And I was like, there's no way in the hell y'all can tell me y'all don't see this shit, because you can see the pyramid is plain as day. Like the pyramid aspect. I think the plane was kind of like it looked like a pyramid shape. And at the bottom of it was very smooth at the very bottom of it. And it was sitting right just slightly above the water. And then all of a sudden I saw something come down out of the ship and then it took off. I said, "Did you see that?" And a couple of us saw that, where you could see something coming down out of the ship in the water now. And then it's just like an apparition. And then it just took off really super duper fast. And I said, "Oh my God." I said, "That's a whole ship." So I think that was, I would say that was one of my best. I don't even want to say encounter, because I didn't encounter anything. It's just something I saw right in front of my house and just bugged me out. So I would say that was probably one of the best ones I've seen so far as me being up close and personal to be able to see it. But that was really tricky.
Okay, so I have another question. Since you were just speaking about the Matrix, right? How many people? I think you did bring up the topic before. How many people on this planet are actually real people? This is a very pivotal question.
Well, yeah, but for me to tell you how many that would be, there's no way for me to tell you that.
Right. But if you was to give like a maybe 1 out of 4, half 50%? Because I think you did say, like you said, a lot of the people here aren't even real people. Can you go deeper on this subject?
Yeah, a lot of
Mhm.
people like to call them NPCs. These are
NPCs, right?
individuals that don't have souls. They are soulless. And there is a lot of people that are born on the planet that do not have souls. And those people that are born on the planet that do not have souls can easily be infiltrated by beings and can be easily taken over. They can easily possess you because you don't
Mm,
have any soul whatsoever, nothing. Now, Sirius A is where the souls reside. And you have individuals that have a high enough ranking that have the ability to actually give a person a soul, um, and assist them. But
mhm,
a lot of times, a lot of times from my experience of just working in the quantum realm and helping people on that level, what I've seen is that these individuals that didn't have souls were people that did previous contracts from previous lifetimes where they didn't have where they couldn't get their soul back because they sold it.
mhm. They
And
sold it.
so now they're just a shell walking amongst the earth that have no sense of direction. Because remember, in order for you to be able to elevate, in order for you to have a connection, you have to have a soul.
Mhm,
You can't just have a spirit. You also have to have a soul because the soul is the very thing that gives you the ability to be able to elevate. The soul is the very thing that connects you to the Most High. The soul is the very thing that connects you, quote unquote, to the Holy Spirit, so to speak.
mhm.
Okay? That right there, if you have that connection, then you have a connection to the Most High. You can
I
communicate to
see.
the Most High as long as
I
you have
see.
that within you. So if
And they
you
say,
ain't got that,
mhm,
if you ain't got that in you, then you're just walking. You're. I hate to say it. I don't mean to. Well, people don't know who they are, so I'm going to say this. If you do not have a soul, you are a walking NPC. Period. You are
period.
too easily influenced. You
Mm,
go with the wind. You don't have the ability to think for yourself. You don't even make the attempt to go out there and think for yourself. You do not do any thinking whatsoever. You have absolutely no self awareness to nothing whatsoever.
mm,
You just go through life and you coast through life. That's all that's happening. You're just coasting through until it's time
mhm,
for you to leave from here or somebody comes and takes possession of you. Soul walk ins can come in and take over a soulless body. A soul walk in can come in and do that. Oh, I'm going to use this vessel. You think that these beings out here don't do that? They come right in, look at you, utilize you as a portal, and come through you, take possession of you, or come through you to get onto this plane. When they want to manifest themselves on this plane, they will take possession of a soulless person in a heartbeat.
wow.
This is the reason why when you see people get possessed, or you see people walking around like Jekyll, like 1 minute the person's like this, and the 1 minute the person's like that, because they are possessed.
Mhm. See it all the time. Right now, this time you see it all the time.
And you're going to see it more, and you're going to see it more and more now than ever. Now it's becoming more pronounced because the veil has been lifting and
Mhm,
dissipating a good bit. So you're going to continue to keep seeing things as they really are, and not what we want them to be. You pretty soon people are going to see it, and there isn't going to be anything they can do about it. It just is what it is. But we got
mhm,
to start getting prepared for Aquarius, because Aquarius, that Pisces shit is over with.
mhm.
The old systems is over with. Everything that you thought you knew is over with. So you guys need to be getting on your meditations, working out. Be honest with yourself about where you are and just work from there.
Mhm.
But get into a space where you're being totally and completely honest with yourself about why you do the things that you do. Confess it out loud, just speak it out loud, write it in a letter. I don't care who you got. I don't care who you got to talk to about it, but just get it out, release it,
Mhm.
release the bag so you can be light enough to go ahead and be able to ascend.
Right. The first step to
Your
self
consciousness
evolution.
has to rise. Your consciousness
Right.
has to rise. You can't come into this shit with these bags and that anger and that resentment, that animosity, and that manipulation and wanting to hurt people. You can't come into this with that in your system. You gotta let that go.
I see.
Because if you don't let it go, then you fall victim to shit like what you saw and know.
Mhm.
you fall victim to that because you invited that negative energy in. Always remember, when you're negative, you invite negative forces into your life. When you are negative, you open up that door. Just remember that.
Mm.
Try. And if it comes and some negative stuff hits you, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Brush it off. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself cleansed off and go about your business. Start doing your cleansing baths. Y'all should never go you should never go 7 days without taking some type of spiritual bath. Whether you sit in the tub or whether you pour it in a bowl. I don't care what it is, but you should never go 7 days without doing a spiritual bath. Spiritual hygiene is a must. Exactly. Y'all be so busy wanting to be in them damn higher realms that you ain't taking care of the things on the 3D level that you got to take care of. Let me tell y'all how this shit works. First of all, it's something I had to learn myself. It's from the ground, then up. Never from the up, then to the ground. So it's never galactic and then down. It's always 3D and then up. Because you're ascending to get there. But if you got 3D shit that you haven't mastered, or you got 3D issues you haven't taken care of, or you're not aware of, or you're not around, if you're not consciously aware, or if you lack self-awareness to the 3D shit that's happening around you, and you just stay only in the higher realms, you can find yourself getting into trouble with people that you care about. Because you're not present with them. Because you're not meeting the needs of the ones that are around you on that level. An example, if a family member of mine gets sick, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check on the 3D level first. Like, okay, is it the flu? Is it this? Is it that? I'm going there first. Okay, that's not it. Okay, well then is it spiritual? Is it galactic? You have to remain grounded as possible. Grounded as possible. The grounding is going to be number one major hit for us is to remain grounded. Mm-hmm. Create the balance. There has to be a balance. Because what happens is when you get your ass up there and you stay up there, it's so tricky. It's too easy to be tricked in that space up there. That's why you got to have your solid foundation established here first. So that way you can deal with the things up there better, and you can maintain a certain amount of groundedness here. You can maintain a certain amount. Because if you go back to the movie Nope, the main character was still grounded. Did y'all peep that? He was still grounded in who he was.
No fear.
It was like, yeah, I see the UFO. That's what it is. But if you pay attention, I just paid attention to that. He never really changed his stance about things. He wasn't a dude that was running around freaking out because there was some type of quote unquote UFO or some type of creature or shape-shifting ass looking thing that wasn't from this world. The brother wasn't really phased in that way. Did y'all peep that?
Very powerful brother.
He wasn't really phased. Like, people would be phased by certain shit like that. They'd be freaking out, but he just really wasn't. When Jordan Peele had him play that character, he had him play the right role, because I love the fact that the brother stayed so grounded throughout the entire movie. That was a major piece right there. His sister, not so much. Yeah, she wasn't as grounded as he was, but he was very grounded. She was very fearful. He was grounded in his approach, and everything he did throughout the end of that, all the way up to the end of that movie, he was grounded. And I think that's probably another reason why that thing didn't come from him the way it came for everybody else. He was grounded. He knew it was there. He knew there was a potential danger with it. He understood that, but he didn't let that overwhelm him. When the UFO, remember when the alien creature, which was a person, got too close and he punched it? You know what I'm saying? Like, the average person would have hauled ass. What did he do? He punched it. Think about it for a minute. He was grounded. He wasn't out here spazzing out, jumping all over the place, and he wasn't doing any of that. It was, I'm looking at this, I'm looking and seeing what this is, I'm walking around, and then I see something even closer. Okay, you're a little bit too close. Let me knock your ass out.
Wow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he still stayed the same dude. And that was something else I paid attention to. I said, damn, that brother stayed grounded throughout this whole shit. There's a message, there's a spiritual message here about staying grounded. That's something else I just picked up on. All of us need to get to a place where we're grounded in that way. Y'all got to stop acting like you are not what it is that you see. When you're looking at those ships and you're looking at extraterrestrials, you got to stop identifying yourself as something separate from them, because you are the extraterrestrial. You are the cosmic being. You are them. They are you. So you got to stop looking at this like you're not that, because that's what you are. So what exactly are you fascinated about again? All the information that they know, you know. The only difference is that you weren't taught on how to tap into it from the inner. You was taught on how to tap out to the outer. You was taught to have to go to everything outside of you. You wasn't taught to go inside to find your answers. That's just the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still on what you said about how, you know, once you become negative, you actually open up negative people and events, because that's a fact. You know, nothing negative can actually come to you unless you are negative. You know, that's a fact. Dropping
You
some
know,
jewels.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what I learned too in my journey. The biggest issue with people right now is trust.
It is.
Now, let's just take human beings trusting other human beings. Let's just take that out the picture. Let's just set that over to the side, right? Let's talk about how people don't trust themselves.
That's deep.
Let's talk about how they don't even trust the Most High. What, you think that you're going to be galactic and still not have to acknowledge the Most High? Because I can assure you that would be a grave mistake on your part. Because the Most High does exist. It shouldn't even be up for debate or discussion. You see evil out here exists. You know demons exist, but you don't think the Most High exists, which is crazy to me. So that trust that we once had in the Most High, where did it go? That trust that we once had in ourselves, where did it go? Because if you don't know yourself and you don't trust yourself, you ain't never going to know the Most High, and you ain't going to be able to trust the Most High, because you don't realize your connection to the Most High. You don't realize that you are that. So therefore, you're separating yourself from that, what you are. You're separating yourself from a part of the whole. You start talking about unity consciousness, what do you think that is? You work towards unity to the law of one. Period. You're working toward unity. You're working toward the one. You're working to reconnect or reunite yourself back with your creator. So how the hell do you plan on doing that if you're running around here thinking that you're separate from the creator and that you're separate from its creations? It doesn't make any sense. And this is what human beings do all the time, because they do not realize their connection to everything on this planet. They don't realize that they themselves are connected. So just like you're connected here on Kai, you're connected on the spiritual. You're connected in the galactic and the cosmos. You've always been connected. Ain't nothing changed but your thought process of it. But just because you think that don't mean it's reality. You can think what you want to think, but it's not reality. Can you see the Most High in your enemy? Do you have the ability to forgive your enemy? Do you have the ability to forgive yourself? Because the truth of the matter is, you are the biggest portrayer of yourself, more than anybody outside of you. You are the biggest betrayer of yourself. Period.
Wow, that's deep.
Sit on that. Chew on that. Think about what I just said. And if you have a hard time trusting yourself, you need to go inward to find out what the hell's going on with you. See, these are the people that listen to everybody else outside of them and go with the wind and let anybody lead them. You should be leading yourself. A teacher is supposed to guide you. A teacher is not supposed to control you. A teacher is not supposed to give you all the answers. A teacher is supposed to guide you to where you got to go. And then you do the work as you're being guided, period. A teacher's not supposed to judge you either, because ain't nobody can be judged on this land. I always make crazy ass mistakes. All being in this space and researching the karma people and finding out the stories behind their karma, nobody is above listen, man, that we don't even play that game over here in my camp. There's no judgment with us when we deal with our people, because we understand that we made mistakes in our incarnations of previous lives. It is what it is, and we're making mistakes today.
I like that you brought that up, because a lot of if you guys want to tell the difference between a fake teacher and a real teacher, no real teacher is going to judge you. If you got someone who's judging you, As soon as someone judges you, they cross the line. That shows that they see the insecurities in themselves. That's a fact.
And that's really what it's about. So why not come clean and say, you know what, I feel insecure because of this, and this, because I didn't feel adequate to do this, and this. And when this took place, it made me feel like this. And and because I felt like this, I didn't think that I was equipped to do with this, and this. Why can't we just come real on a healing level, y'all? Why can't we just come real on a healing level? How you going to heal if you keep running and hiding and masking yourself? You're supposed to be healing, but see, you can't mask your shit. Don't you guys get it? Being in the age of Aquarius, there's no hiding. There's no secrets in this shit no more.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, you're going to see enough examples of this, and you're going to get tired of the bullshit, and you're going to start realizing there's no point to it. When you go into the higher realms, everything is out in the open and laid on the table all the way across the board. It ain't no hiding, ain't no none of that type of shit.
Right.
And people that still have that type of mentality, they still have a lot of growing to do. Because they lack understanding, right?
All the dark is coming to the light right now.
All the darkness is definitely coming to the light right now, whether you like it or not. You know, so it's best just to come clean and be 100 and say, I made a damn mistake, and I did this because of this, and this, and that was triggered because of this, and this. And it's just shit. You know what I'm saying? I have to fix my shit. I got to correct it. Will you give me the opportunity to correct it and make this right? Because I didn't mean to hurt you. I was hurt. Because no one was hearing me when I was in pain. Nobody was there for me when I was going through what I was going through. And I was there for y'all when y'all was going through what y'all was going through. But nobody was there for me when I was going through what I was going through. So I felt resentful. But the truth of the matter is, I'm the one who put myself out there for all these other people. Nobody made me do that. And I had a slight expectation that the same people I would help would be back there for me, but they weren't. Be 100 about your shit. Because when you admit it and you lay it on the line and you hear yourself admit it out loud, then sit in your feelings about it, grieve about it, and then say, you know what? For every adversity that I experience as a life lesson, is more wisdom that's added unto me. Mm-hmm. So let me go on ahead and first admit my actions and the role I played in this situation. Only be responsible for what you're responsible for. Don't take on other people's shit. Because there's always two sides to a story. So own up to your shit. Let that person own up to theirs. But you only own up to the things that you're responsible for, nothing else. And then you make the necessary strides to do better and take corrective action. Stop procrastinating. You're not dealing with your 3D issues. Stop procrastinating. Stop putting shit to the back burner. Those are 3D issues. Take care of your 3D issues. Take care of your 3D healing. Take care of how you communicate with people. Take care of that. Learn how to communicate.
Communication is some of the most important things for a relationship right now. Communication, the throat chakra.
And a lot of people shut down on throat chakra because they're afraid of how people are going to respond to them. And you don't have to scream at the top of your lungs to get your point across to anyone, but you do have the ability to sit down and have a real conversation with someone or check somebody on the spot when they disrespect you or cross a line, or cross a boundary. People don't set boundaries for themselves, therefore they don't set boundaries with others. But y'all got to learn how to start speaking your truth in a very real way. You ain't got to be disrespectful when you're doing it, but you got to learn how to speak your truth so you can heal.
I say very important. Isis, you want to drop your Cash App so we can pin down the comments for the YouTube live right now?
Shop Isis Wisdom. Shop Isis Wisdom. You can send me a Cash App there if you'd like.
Put it right there.
You can follow me on I am the realest to ever do it, REALEST. The number 2, ever do it, IAMTHE. I am the. There's all kinds of fake pages of me on Instagram. I think there was a few on TikTok and whatever, but That is the correct way to spell my name, and I have a lot of followers. So if you sign something that I have
Like
90,000
over
followers.
90K. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my real page. All the rest of them, they don't have them kind of followers. So just make sure you go to the right one on Instagram, Isis Wisdom on YouTube, and I'm doing an invite only for the Telegram now because I've opened it up to people, and then the wrong types of people got on the channel and they were very disruptive. So it's more or less like an invite only type situation now for people, because I need to make sure that the right people are on the channel that really want to learn, and try to keep to a minimum the distractors. You know what I'm saying? Because you're always going to have duality, so you're always going to have opposition. And I got a Discord. I got a Discord that's currently being built right now. And when that Discord is complete, I will let people know about it. But you ain't just gonna get approved like that. It's not going to process. See, you're gonna have to get yourself checked. I'm gonna check into you, and you got to register with your real telephone number, because it'll be set up to where no other numbers will be accepted but a real phone number. So yeah, so I'm actually changing the platform out to Discord, so that'll be coming up real soon, and I will announce it when it's time.
Okay, so I have another question for the Note movie since we're on this topic. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, you noticed that keys were dropping from the sky, and you actually seen one key dropped into the horse, and then it actually killed the father. What was the representation of this? What did this mean?
It wasn't a key that killed the father. It was a coin.
It was a coin. Okay.
Yeah, it was a coin that killed the father, and that was that being shooting out that coin. He was shooting it out, and it killed the father. Like he was shooting it out. If you remember that thing had been spitting things out left and right from it when it was consuming things, other things were just falling out of it, and so forth and so on. So you can call that divine intervention, but really what it was that creature actually shot that damn coin out and hit his damn head and killed him on sight.
Wow, that was just a crazy way to just pass.
Very that, and then the part where the blood was coming down out the damn thing, and the blood was shooting all over. That was like, yeah, that was kind of. I didn't like that part. I didn't like that part. That was kind of chilling. I didn't like that piece right there. I was like, I don't like that. It kind of reminded me of War of the Worlds when they were going around eating up all them humans with Tom Cruise, and those ships came up out of the ground. And those ships started eating up people and stuff and spitting them out, spitting the things out. I was like, oh, hell no. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
All right, Isis, you willing to get a few questions with me before we hop off from the people?
Sure.
All right, so yeah, y'all comment down some questions. We take a few questions from y'all about the Note movie, anything that in general that is actually relevant to, the ascension of 5D right now. We're going to take them for y'all. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, we got a question from Gia Dowling. I'm gonna let you take this, Isis Wisdom. He said that, what is a spiritual bath?
There are several different types of spiritual baths. The ones that I am deferring to are the ones that you utilize with different herbs. You can do the research on the different herbs and plants and research the effects of what they do. You get cleansing herbs, you get Florida water, you get Colonia 1800, you go to a Botanica, that's spelled Botanica, if you want to go there. They have all those different cleansing herbs. And then actually you'll utilize certain ingredients to put in that bath. You could put it in a bowl. Like the way I do my spiritual baths is that I get a large bowl, like either a large bowl or maybe even a big pot. And I'll put a lot of water in it and all the rest of the ingredients in it that I want to be in there. So those ingredients can consist of different things, different colognes, different herbs, different chants and prayers, different essential oils, all types of stuff. It just depends on what type of bath that what you want the bath to do. You have clearing baths, you have sweetening baths, you have raw 7-day herb baths. Those are for people who are heavy with negative energy. You can go out to the ocean and just let the ocean toss and turn your behind around a couple of times. Give an offering to Yemaya, Give her offering of some fresh fruit to Yemaya. Maybe bring her some rum. Spray it into her. Ask her to clean you off. Go out to the water. Let her clean you off. Or you can bring an offering of honey. You got to taste it first before you give it to Oshun at the river. Preferably a yellow river or a gold river. You can give her that. You can give her pumpkins. You can give her all different types of offerings. Pray into it. Give her an offering and ask her to clean you off. You know, natural sources of water is what is the best source of water to utilize when you're taking your spiritual baths. If you do not have access to natural running water, such as a lake or an ocean or a river, then you use what you got. Okay, and then you just simply start saying the prayers in the bath. You can let the bath sit in front of your ancestor altar. That's what I like to do. I'll put it in front of one of my altars. I'll be sitting either with a Risha shrine, my ancestor altar, with somebody else, depending on what effects I'm trying to get out of the bath. And then I will take it, and I'll usually take the bath usually before bedtime. It's the best time to take those types of baths. So I say my prayers and everything. Now, let me just say this one thing. Before you go down that road and take a spiritual bath, make sure that you get your funky asses clean first. Get your asses in the shower. Wash your ass first, Negroes. Don't go and take no damn spiritual bath. Wash your ass first. Go take a shower. Go take a regular bath. Get the dirt up off you first, nasty. Then, and make sure every part is clean. Because some of you dudes out here, I be hearing stories about y'all not washing your ass and you're afraid water gonna go on your ass and all that type of shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the card real quick. Wash your ass all the way from top to bottom. Then when you're done, then you go ahead and you take that mixture after you just said your prayers and all that into it, and you pour it over top of your head, or get someone to pour it over top of your head. Go ahead and make sure that you clean out all the herbs out of the water first before you pour it over top of your head, so you don't get your tub clogged up. Make sure that you go ahead and get all the herbs up out of there. Use a strainer or something. Go into the thing, pour it over top of your crown chakra, and let it go down over your body. It's going to be cold. It should be room temperature. It's going to be cold. It's supposed to be cold. No, you're not supposed to heat it up because it's going to have the same effects. Once you do that, you pat dry. You do not dry yourself off completely 100%. You pat dry. Pat dry. Have a fan running something. Okay? Air dry. Air dry is the best. Put yourself in white sheets. Put something white on your head. Put something white on your body or something bright on your body. Take your ass to bed. Go to sleep. Because I guarantee within 30 to 40 minutes, you're going to be knocked out anyway after that bath. And then when you're sleeping, then the bath is still working on you throughout the whole night while you're sleeping and things like that. See how you feel. See how light you feel. If you feel like you need to do it a couple more times, then you just keep doing it until you feel like you don't need to do it anymore. Okay? So I hope that kind of gave you guys a brief breakdown, and it is brief, breakdown of how to do a spiritual bath.
Okay, that was a great answer to that question. The next question we got is from, can you talk about the days getting shorter? This is a huge topic that a lot of people are talking about. Like, they can't even get that much done throughout the day. Like, what's taking place with this? Like, why can't
we're losing time?
Get that much done? I know you spoke about this before.
Yeah, several months ago we had lost 2 hours of time. Now we're losing 30 minutes a day of time, and this has been going on now since I want to say June. End of May, I believe, was when it started. And it was revealed to us that we were losing every day now 30 minutes of time. And I'm like, okay, pretty soon there's going to come a point in time which is already starting to happen, where it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and folks are still seeing the daylight out, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Okay? This is continuing to happen. And also, I made mention about you guys losing your memories. Your 3D memories. You're starting to lose your 3D memories. Can't even remember what you did the day before. Okay? It's not for you to panic or flip out about. It's just that with these timelines coming together and merging, this is what happens. And I also made mention that there's going to come a point in time where you won't have any 3D memories at all of anything 3D. So as time is moving fast, the planet is actually spinning extremely fast. I did check in with that. I did get a hit back on that, about the planet spinning extremely fast on its axis. Now we know what NASA's trying to tell us. We understand it from that perspective, although I wouldn't believe NASA at this point. But what I will tell you is that some of it has a lot to do with Nibiru being in our solar system. and how it's affecting us. And it is affecting the planet right now in major ways. And if you pay attention to the sun is still moving. It's still shifting because now it's even further back over here now than it was during the spring. So everything is shifting right now. The planet is shifting. The people are shifting, and you got to get used to the fact that you're losing time.
Wow, so much time being lost right now.
Yes.
Y'all
I
keep
mean,
asking some
fast too.
questions. Yeah, very
Fast.
fast, very fast. All right, how can you tell if someone has a soul?
Their eyes.
Their eyes.
When you look at
Polarized there.
when you look at an individual and you look into their eyes, those who don't have a soul, they have like this glossy look about them in their eyes. They have this glossy look. They'll tell you that they can't feel too. They'll let you know they have problems feeling. That's usually an indicator of someone that probably doesn't have a soul. They don't tap into the emotional side of themselves. It's not because they don't want to, it's because they can't. They don't have a soul to connect to be able to do it. But the eyes is usually the first giveaway. It's this glossy look that they have. Like it's like a glare, if you will. It's like an off kind of stare that they have. They're not high, they're not any of that. It's just they have this glare look about them where you can clearly see that nobody's home.
No one's
Even though
home.
when you talk to them, they're going to respond back to you, but you can see it, like you can really see it. And for those of you that have your first eye activated, you're really going to see it. But for those who don't have their first eye activated, just pay attention to the things they say when it comes to emotion. If you're not able to see it, just pay attention to the things they say when it comes to emotion, especially when they say things like "I can't connect" or things of that nature. They are a candidate that probably needs to be checked into to see if they in fact have a soul. Now, there are some people whose heart space is shut completely down, but they still have the ability to feel something. These individuals just don't feel at all. They just don't have the ability to feel. Not in the way, like physically, yes, but when it comes to emotion, they can't make that connection.
Wow.
Okay, they're like police officers. White police officers, Caucasian police officers, how they have no soul. A lot of them don't have a soul. They're not able to connect to that aspect of themselves because they don't have nothing there. That's why a lot of them are, in fact, police officers. Because they don't have no connection or no sympathy or no empathy for others. Not to mention, there's also an issue of proximity. So you got that going on. Plus, you got an individual that doesn't have any way to feel. So it's nothing for them to kill one of us. Those who have the ability to feel, they can't feel that. They can't connect to that. They don't have a soul. They're soulless.
Y'all look at them eyes. Look at them eyes. We're in a pivotal time right now. All right, we got a good question. This is a very, very, very good question. Even I'm interested in knowing this, but Black people with serpentine or dragon DNA, are we the descendants of the Anunnaki?
Well, let's be clear about something. The Anunnaki does not have anything to do with any type of reptilian DNA or serpentine DNA. Let's just start there. I think there's some confusion on that. The Black people with serpentine or dragon DNA. Dragons, first of all, I've never heard of anyone having dragon DNA with the exception of the first emperor of China. And he is in fact he was in fact part dragon and part human. But you guys also got to understand the times of how things were back in those days. You're more likely to see someone with reptilian DNA. And that's because during the times of Atlantis, the reptilians and the Anunnaki were performing a lot of experiments. And so humanity became mixed through all the experimental and mixing that was taking place during the time of Atlantis. So there isn't anybody on this earth at this point that's considered to be purebred unless they're incestuous. They're not considered to be purebred. You have the fight or flight thing going on. That's the reptilian part of the brain. Well, how the hell I get that? Some people are born with tails. Well, then how the hell did I get that? Because of gene splicing that was taking place. That's how that happened. The Anunnaki also took part in gene splicing as well. Some of these Anunnaki are also known to be sages. Most people do not know this. So when you start reading up about sages and things like that, it's a strong possibility that they, in fact, may have been an Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, if you want to see what the Anunnaki look like, just simply go and look at the pictures of Egypt current now. And when you look at the current Egypt, all the statues that you see there, the large, tall statues that you see there in Egypt, those are the Anunnaki. That's what they look like. That's them. So they have very strong humanoid features. They look like us. Some of us have Anunnaki within us. Some of us are the children of the Anunnaki due to all the mixing and the gene splicing that was taking place. Some of us are, in fact, children of the Anunnaki. Not all Anunnaki are malevolent. Some of them are benevolent. Some of them are neutral. Just like all human beings are not malevolent. Some of us are benevolent. Some of us are neutral. Some of us are
going to be a balance.
Yeah, there's always going to be a balance. And that's pretty much for every species out there. And even I had to even come to terms with just, for instance, I got a serious issue with these Alpha Draconians and these reptilians, right? But I had to work through my own prejudices against that, right? Because one, I'm looking at how you're looking. First of all, how you look. And I said to myself, damn, they do that to us all the time. But you look scary. But I'm like, yeah, but we probably look scary to them because we don't look like, you see what I'm saying? Like, we think that we look okay and think that everybody else looks crazy as hell. It's just that you're not used to seeing it. That's just like if you see a spider out here and you don't like spiders, but you really don't know why you don't like spiders. You just don't like them because they're creepy, crawly. They get a bad rap just because they look different from everybody else. Okay? We look different from everybody else, and we get a bad rap. And there's racism and prejudice and all types of stuff like that. And then we have our own prejudice and biases against other beings and so forth and so on. So the first thing I had to do was I had to get, even with the Anunnaki, I had to get past a few things with them. I actually had 2 benevolent encounters with an Anunnaki. So that's how I can say this, because I did not know. And I said, well, damn, I thought she was, I was like, I was thinking that all y'all are negative. All of us are not negative, but we do have, we are a dark race of beings, and we are dark energy, and we will go there. You know what I'm saying? But there are some that is also neutral or benevolent in nature. There are things that can be done to actually assist your cosmic ancestors, because the Anunnaki are some of our cosmic ancestors. I guarantee you, if I sit down and pull down do a cosmic reading on you, you more than likely probably have an Anunnaki court that you don't know nothing about. And this court belongs to you. This is part of your family. And you can communicate to them and you can talk to them because they're a part of your family. The thing is, you just got to know if they're benevolent or malevolent. You have to know this, because if they're malevolent, then you don't want to have no dealings with that. Period. You don't want no parts of that. But if they're benevolent, or at least even neutral, okay, cool. You're giving me something to work with. You know what I'm saying? But if they're malevolent, you want to stay far away as possible, and I do mean far. So it really just depends on. It just depends on who's who and what's what and what you were and who you are today and all that kind of stuff. It just depends.
All right, let's keep looking at a few more questions. We'll take a few more questions from y'all. We're gonna wrap it up. We've seen some good questions. We got a question. Let's see. All right, I keep seeing this question. It says, can you please talk about the split ISIS? Pretty please. I've seen the split question like 5 times. So it's like, let's hear
I'm
your
hoping
take
that
on
they're
that.
talking about the split of humanity, because I'm not because they're so generalized. I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about. I don't know if they're talking about split of the planet, the split of humanity, or if they're talking about both. But as far as the split of humanity, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but the line has pretty much been drawn in the sand with a lot of people right now in terms of where they are and where they stand. You got a lot of people right now that's getting into this reptilian metaverse that Facebook has created. Facebook is they ain't nothing but reptilians, period. That whole thing is infested with reptilians. So you got a lot of people that's really getting into this technology thing. They're really getting into transhumanism. They're really getting into that. And then you got the other half that don't want no parts of that. You got one half that will have all their money and everything transferred into the actual into the metaverse. where they'll be living there 24 hours, 7 days a week. They'll do everything inside there. They'll live inside there. That's going to be a great split. And then you're going to have individuals that ain't playing them type of games, and we're still going to work with regular currencies and still go about our lives daily and so forth and so on. You're going to have those that chose technology, and you're going to have those that chose God. That's just how it's going to go. And this started during a time period when they were doing what they were doing when they launched what they launched back in 2020. And I ain't got to say it. You already know. Y'all know I can't say it on the brother's channel because I don't want to get him in trouble. But think back to that. This is when it started. This is when the Great Divide started, right there.
Y'all know exactly what she's talking about in 2020.
You know I'm saying? And they continue to keep dividing themselves because they're operating out of fear. So let me just say this. Anybody at this point that is operating out of fear, you will fall victim to that. Because you're running to which you're trying to run from because you're operating out of fear. You're not thinking with any kind of common sense, nor are you tapping into your spirituality whatsoever. You didn't trust yourself. You didn't trust the Most High. So you went another direction and you trusted your friends. You trusted your family members. You trusted anybody but who you should have been trusting. In that case, there is going to be a great divide and a great split. And that split is going to be the difference between those who ascend and those who don't. So there is going to be a great divide. It is happening right now. This is a myth. This isn't something that's just happening. This is something that's happening in front of your face right now, even as we speak. And what's going to happen is on one side of the planet, it's going to be a darker side of the planet, and the other side of the planet is going to be, whatever, because there is going to be 5D consciousness coming down upon this planet. That's going to really happen. Then there are those that's going to ascend and go to the second Kai. That's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Those of you who still are still hanging on to certain shit and you still ain't did your work, you'll remain here. You're going to remain here until you do the necessary work to go ahead and get yourselves up to the other Kai. You'll remain right here, but you still will be in the 5D consciousness. You will still be able to do 5D things and so forth and so on, but you just ain't leaving from here. Until you do the necessary inner work that you try to run from, that you think you're going to skip past and fool people with and all that and fool yourself with, and you think you're going to fool the Most High with, you ain't going to do it. So there you go for the split.
Okay. Could you talk about the Lionsgate, please?
Lionsgate is done. I don't really know why people keep talking about this, but there ain't no more Lionsgate. That's been over with. That's a wrap. The last portal we had in August of last year was the Hermes Gate. It was the Hermes Gate. So this is old programming coming in from shit that was going on before. This ain't the same portal no more. This isn't the Lionsgate portal anymore. That's over and done with. That left when Pisces left, the Lionsgate portal left. I think the Lionsgate portal actually left even before that. From my understanding, the Lionsgate portal left way before that. So I think now you guys got to remember, first of all, you're following a Gregorian calendar. Let's start there. So what portal do you really think you're operating off of if you're operating off of a 12-month calendar year, when in fact there's 13 months in a year? Ain't no Lionsgate portal coming up in no August, fam. And see, that's another thing. That people are not paying attention to the fact that even that's changing. So this Gregorian calendar only applies to those who are still following it. And some of us have to follow it because we're working jobs and so forth and so on. But I don't know if y'all feel a pull. I don't know about any of y'all, but I've been feeling a pull to pull away from that whole paradigm. That's still trying to keep you into an old paradigm that no longer serves a purpose anymore. That's an old paradigm. What they need to do is they need to upgrade the calendar to the 13-month calendar. That's what they need to do. But you're still not keeping track of time like that anymore. There's a whole different way on how they keep track of time in the cosmos. And it ain't the way that most people think that it is. It has nothing to do with that. And I would tell y'all what it is, but I can't because I was told I wasn't allowed to tell y'all, the public, like that. But what I'll tell you is that there's a whole different way in terms of how they do things. And it ain't the way that we're used to doing things on Kai. This is a whole spell that is leaving Kai that was placed here by the Arcturians. The Malvern Arcturians placed a spell of time on here. There is a frequency that is out there in a different star system that is sending in a frequency on here to Earth to destroy that time, that spell of time over us. So that's why I said, don't get caught up in this Lionsgate portal in that way. Don't get caught up in it that way.
Good divine question. All right, I'm looking at a few more questions. I'm seeing a lot of twin flame questions, but I already know you want to
said, how do we get to 13 calendar months? Because you're forgetting about Ft.Isis. You're forgetting about Ft.Isis. And that's something that should be talked about more than what it has been. Instead of continuing with the 12 months, it's 13 months in a calendar year. So I just want to add, he asked that question. I'm going to answer that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a good question. This is a very deep question. It's very controversial, but I know you've spoken this before, maybe on your Telegram. But what does the word demon mean? We have 72 demonic energies within us. Is the word good or bad or neither?
Well, first of all, where did you hear that we have 72 demonic energies within us? Where did you hear that from? What's the source?
That's a good, very, very good question.
See, did you go within to get that response, to get those answers, to determine whether or not that's really factual? Or is that something you read in a book somewhere? Okay, and then she asks us the question, is the word good or bad or neither? You have demons and then you have daemons. Let me start there. The demons are a different species or a different race of beings that work for Lucifer and Satan. When they speak 72 energies, I'm just going to step out here on a limb because I really don't know where you're coming from when you say this. So I'm just going to step out here on a limb. Everybody has duality within them. They have the ability to be malevolent and they have the ability to be benevolent. They also have the ability to be neutral. So when you say demonic energies, I'm thinking the way I process it is, first of all, I don't process a demon inside of me. I can't speak for you. I don't process a demon inside of me. I don't have those tendencies to be a demon. I can have a tendency to be mischievous, but never a demon. And that's why I had to ask you where you got that from as far as we having 72 demonic energies within us. I wanted to know where that came from. Because that sounds like some Solomonic information is what it sounds like to me. And I don't know if that's where you're getting your information from, but I just kind of wanted to just touch on that for a moment. But as far as the demons are concerned, you guys should go read the dictionary. I think it's called the Demonic Dictionary. And I forgot who it's by, but you guys can go and research that. And you could begin to start researching about the demons and what they are. There was one point in time where I actually thought that a demon was actually the opposite of an angel. Or was an angel that fell. Well, that's not true. A fallen angel is a fallen angel. An angel that falls is just a fallen angel, but they are not demons.
Wow.
I thought the same shit too. That's what I thought too. So I got corrected on that. I didn't know. I thought the same shit because this is what we were told in the books. This is what we were told. People were telling us these things. We were reading books and all type of shit. This is what we all thought. Not true. Now you have the fallen angels, and you guys can go and do some research on that on your own about the fallen angels or the angels. You know, where you can research angelic dictionary and read the research on all the top angels and the fallen angels and so forth and so on. But the demons themselves are a separate species in them itself. They are not the same species as an angelic. A demon is exactly what it is. It is a demon. Period. Point blank.
Period.
It could transition over to a daemon. It could transition over to a daemon, which means it could be benevolent. But a demon can never be an angel. Now, you can look at an angel and say, you have demonic tendencies. Okay, that's a fallen angel. And what is demonic to you? What is considered to be demonic to you? Malevolent? Okay, well, you got malevolent Anunnaki, you got malevolent all types of ET forces, you have malevolent human beings. So when you look in the mirror and you see this person out here that's malevolent, are they a demon? Or are they human with negative tendencies? Or are they human with malevolent tendencies? So it all really depends on your definition of exactly what a demon is. But I'm just letting you know it's a different kind of species. It's not an angelic. It's not none of that. It's literally its own species, all by itself.
Okay, so we got a good question right here. This will be one of the last questions before we wrap it up. It's been a great live, but the last question we got is preparation for the outbreaks coming this fall.
Look, man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Y'all can get caught up in that matrix if you want to. You will deal with that if you're running from it and if you're fearful of it. Let me tell y'all something. That one thing I didn't have to worry about during the time from 2020 all the way up to this point was catching anything of the sort, if anything pertaining to anything dealing with my immune system or getting sick. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say to you. Your preparation is simple. Don't tune into the shit. Don't operate out of fear. If you see someone with an outbreak, exit stage left. If you see someone with the outbreak of that, exit stage left. Or go get yourself educated more about what this shit really is. But I want you to pay attention to something. 2 years ago, it was the other. And then came extra things with that you had to do to keep yourself safe. Now, as the country opens itself back up and everything is starting to move around again, not even 2 years later, here comes something else. Now, them same things that they were trying to get people to deal with and take before, now they're pushing that same thing now for this. If y'all can't see the writing on the wall of how cyclic this shit is, then I don't know what you want me to tell you. There's going to come a point in time where you guys stop tapping into this shit, because what you tap into is what you're going to attract to yourself. If you're not paying attention to that, and I suggest everybody do not pay attention to the media. Do not pay attention to social media. Do not pay attention to the stuff that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Tap yourself into a frequency that's going to make you feel comfortable, because then at that point, you're vibrating so high, you're not going to run into that energy, because that's a lower form of energy right there. And it's based upon fear mongering. All they got to do is tell you this, show you pictures of that, make up a story behind that, and folks just believe that shit. And all of a sudden, oh, I'm fearful now of this, that, and the third. What do I need to do for this? And what do I need to do to prep for this and this, that, and the third? I'm gonna tell you my point of view on it. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Don't walk around with fear. Keep your vibrational frequency high, because when you're keeping your vibrational frequency high, you're not going to run into certain types of beings. You're just not going to run into certain type of situations. You're just not. Ask the Most High to keep you protected and go about your damn business. Period. Go about your damn business. And go live your life. And go elevate. Do not let anything distract you from your elevation, because that's all they're trying to do, is trying to stop you from your elevation and trying to distract you every way possible. Why? Because they know a lot of us is coming online. And they know sooner or later this shit's going to break. And they know them ancestors are going to start coming through them folk, and they know it's going to be some ass whippings coming. That's all they're trying to do. I need to distract you over here so you don't see this over here, because we're about to get our asses whooped. We're about to get our ass beat for all the shit we did. Them folks' ancestors are waking up right now. And they're coming through the ancestors are coming through their descendants. Watch what I tell you when I tell you that there is a war coming. There is a war coming, but it's going to be from us. Okay? It's going to be from us. Why do you think they're pushing so hard to get us jacked up, to lock down our DNA, to lock our shit down so we don't access, so the sun don't activate us? Because they know what's going to happen to us when the sun comes to activate us, and they know what's going to happen after that. It is what it is.
Well, this is a great live, Isis. A great conversation. Talking about this topic, Nope, this movie, Nope. We broke it down in multiple ways. You broke it down in multiple ways. You decoded it very, very deeply and divinely. Much gratitude for you, and we're gonna see if we can get you definitely back on here within the next few months. Shout out to everyone watching this live. Make sure you guys go ahead and drop a huge like and comment, and let us know what you guys think about this live. And if y'all got any questions, definitely you guys can contact Isis Wisdom on her Telegram. And you actually have an email or you want to share, or you just want them to
No,
contact
I'm
you on that
no,
Telegram?
hell no. They're not
Okay,
getting my email. They're not
okay,
getting my
so yeah,
email. Y'all can hit me up on Instagram. Y'all
Telegram,
can hit me
Instagram.
up. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
not happening. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes,
you can the Telegram. Yeah, if you can get over there. But I'm letting y'all know right now, so that it's a different ball game on that Telegram. So if you coming over there with low vibrational foolishness, you ain't gonna last there very long. But the Telegram is I am the realest to ever do it. It's the same as here. Telegram t.me// I am the realest to ever do it. But don't come over there with no foolishness because we
hmm
vibrating high over there, and
vibrating
you
high.
you will get shut down quick. Beyond 5D's on the channel, he know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see how the channel work. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
keep them vibes high, fam. Participate, have fun with us and stuff like that. But don't come up on there with that extra shit.
It's gonna get
Come up
shut
on
down
there
real
with
quick.
that. Mm-hmm.
So y'all, if y'all want to contact me, y'all can go ahead and go on my Instagram, beyond5d, beyond.5d. If you guys want to contact me on Telegram, the link is in the description. If you guys do want to contact me, email is in the description. If you guys do want to buy crystals, beyond5d.online, sun charged crystals, and we also ship with a free gift. And we also do explain how these crystals will affect your auric field and benefit you spiritually. All right. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to everyone watching this live. Um, Gratitude. May the Most High be with y'all. Make sure y'all meditate tonight. Make sure y'all pray. Make sure y'all take a shower, a spiritual bath. Make sure you tell everyone around you what you're grateful for, because gratitude will expand your aura. And I say,
Man, gratitude will bring blessings and good karma into your life too.
mhm, that's the secret to anything magical too. But shout out to Brother Yusuf for that. But yeah, all praise to the Most High. We signing out. Yes, yes, yes.
Peace.
Peace.